Okay, so let me start by saying this state, okay? So if you live in South Africa, hunger is not something that you need statistics to believe in, okay? You need to see it. When you see clips like this, it just hits differently. You feel it. You drive past it every single day on your way to work or on your way to varsity or school. Kids are walking home from school with no food waiting for them at home. Elderly people are surviving on grants that doesn't even last half of the month. Parents are skipping meals so that their children can eat. And guys, unfortunately, that's the reality of living in South Africa. And the reason why we are making this video today, and we're going to make it as simple as possible, okay? Because too many people want to help, but they think they can't. They think that starting a soup kitchen or a feeding scheme is something that only big organizations or big companies can do. They think that you need money, you need sponsors, you need buildings, you need paperwork, you need a whole team behind you that's going to help you put all of this together. But in all honesty, guys, you don't. So today, guys, I want to break down this in a very real and practical way, okay? Using South Africa as the example. And guys, I'm gonna be showing you how any normal person can start a feeding scheme and they can start feeding people in their community today. Okay guys, so before we get started, we have to talk about why soup kitchens and feeding schemes actually matter, okay? So in South Africa, millions of people experience food insecurity, and that doesn't always mean starvation. It means not knowing if there will be food tomorrow, or eating once a day, or relying on cheap food with no nutrition. And the scary part is that hunger affects everything. It affects how kids perform at school, it affects mental health, it affects crime levels, it affects dignity. When someone doesn't know where their next meal is coming from, then nothing else really matters. That's why feeding schemes and soup kitchens are so important. They don't solve poverty, but they do relieve pressure. And sometimes relieving just a little bit of pressure is the difference between someone coping and someone completely breaking down. Now guys, when I say the term soup kitchen, don't get stuck on the name, okay? A soup kitchen is a feeding scheme, a community feeding program. It's all basically the exact same thing, okay? It's simply organized feeding, where you are feeding members in your community. So whether it's soup, whether it's pap and stew, whether it's rice and beans, or whether it's just handing out sandwiches, the goal is basically the same. People get a proper meal. People get to go home with a meal in their belly. And guys, the first thing you need to understand is this, okay? You do not start with the food. You actually start with the people. So before you cook anything, ask yourself a very simple question, okay? Who exactly am I feeding? Okay? Because there's no point of prepping all the food if you don't even know who you're going to be giving it to. Okay? So is it children after school? Is it the elderly people in your community? Is it unemployed adults? Is it homeless individuals? Is it families in a specific area that you've noticed? Don't just say everyone, okay? Because that's how people burn out quickly. You plan too big and then you don't feed that amount, or you plan too small and then you have to feed too many. Guys, pick a small specific group at first. Even if it's just 5 or 10 people, honestly, that is enough to start. A feeding scheme that feeds 10 people consistently is more valuable than one that feeds 100 once and then just completely disappears because they are completely burnt out. Okay? Start small and then keep growing as time goes on. Understand what you need to do, then grow. And once you know who you're feeding, then the next thing is where, okay? And this is another thing where a lot of people really overthink it, okay? You don't need a building. You can operate from your home, a backyard, a church hall, a community center, a school with permission, of course, a borrowed space once or twice a week. Some feeding schemes operate completely outdoors, and the only time you have to worry about that is when it's raining outside. What matters is that the space is safe, it's accessible to all, and it's clean enough to prepare and also to serve food. And if you can cook there and the people can just stand outside or they can sit down and eat safely, then guys, the space works. Okay, now let's talk about the food, okay? Because this is usually where people get intimidated. Here's the truth. Feeding schemes are not about fancy meals. It's not the kind of meals that you're gonna see when you go to high-end restaurants. They are about affordable, filling foods that can stretch. And in South Africa, some of the most common feeding schemes foods are soup, pap and stew, samp and beans, rice and lentils, a quick to prepare curry, a quick to prepare acne, vegetable stew, bread with soup. It's things that can go a long way. These foods are cheap, they are filling, and they are easy to prepare in bulk. So when you are feeding close to 100 or even 500 people, you can put these together pretty quickly and at cost. You don't need meat in every single meal. Protein can come from beans, lentils, and peas. If you can add some meat, then perfect. But you don't need to feed people 3 times a day. One solid meal makes a total difference. And guys, let's be very real about money, okay? Most people watching this don't have any spare cash just laying around, okay? And that is okay. Many feeding schemes start with personal money, but only a small amount. You don't need to spend your entire life savings in order to put together a feeding scheme. You might start by cooking a pot that feeds maybe 10 people once a week. That is something that is manageable. But very quickly, you need to understand something that is super important, okay? You are allowed to ask for help. Speak to local businesses. Go around the area and speak to local business owners. Speak to the shops in your area. Speak to fruit and veg sellers, bakeries, butcheries, supermarkets. Food gets wasted every single day, okay? So go and approach them respectfully and then explain what you are doing, explain who you are feeding. Don't demand anything, just ask if they would be willing to donate food that would otherwise be thrown away. And guys, you will be so surprised how often people actually say yes. A big mistake people make is thinking they need to register an organization before they start. And the truth is, you don't. Registration is important later on, okay? Don't get me wrong on that. Especially if you want funding or formal partnerships down the line. But it should never stop you from feeding people right now. Start feeding first, be consistent, build up the trust, and then once people see that you are serious and also reliable, then the support begins to follow. Hunger doesn't wait for the paperwork, guys. So be prepared to do the feeding first, and then don't even worry about the registration at the very beginning. Consistency is one of the most important parts of a feeding scheme. So if you say that you are feeding people every Wednesday at, let's say, 4 o'clock, okay? Be there every Wednesday at 4 o'clock because people rely on feeding schemes. For some, it's the only guaranteed meal that they will maybe even get that week. So if you are unsure how often you can manage, then please start small, okay? Once a week is completely fine. Even once every 2 weeks is also fine. What matters is that people can depend on you. Okay, so if you set a time, please stick to that time. In the beginning, it might just be you and one other person. And guys, that's enough. As people see what you are doing, volunteers will naturally come. Friends, family, community members, they will join what you are doing. But here's something that is super important, okay? Don't pressure people to help. Don't make them feel bad if they are not willing to commit in order to helping. This work can be emotionally heavy. People need to want to be there, okay? So keep the environment calm, respectful, and also organized. Have people there that really, truly want to be there. And that's how you keep volunteers long term and you start building up your team. And guys, another thing that is often neglected, hygiene. That is a thing you need to take so seriously, okay? You don't need perfection, but you do need to care, okay? Clean hands, clean pots, clean utensils. If you can afford gloves, then use them. If not, then wash your hands properly and also often in between the feedings. Food should be prepared and it should be served in a way that keeps people safe, okay? Remember, you are not just feeding people, you are protecting their health. One thing that people don't talk about enough is dignity. A feeding scheme is not a favor that you are doing to the community. People are not less than because they need help. Speak to people with respect. Don't rush them, don't embarrass them, don't treat them like they are just numbers there on the day. Sometimes the meal matters, sometimes the conversation matters even more. For many people around South Africa or even around the world, feeding schemes are the only place where someone asks how they are doing and someone actually listens. So please be wary of the people that is in the line. Treat them with dignity, respect, and also treat them with love. As your feeding scheme grows, you can expand slowly. Maybe what you can do is you can add some bread, you can add some fruit, you can add in school lunches, you can add in more people to feed, you can add in more areas. Maybe you add in food parcels when you can. Maybe you add in a little gift here and there around Easter or around certain times. Don't rush the growth. It's better to do something small properly than to do something big badly, okay? Burnout helps no one, so please be careful. Now guys, let's talk about the impact that feeding schemes have in South Africa and how it plays a bigger role than most people actually realize. They keep kids focused at school. They help elderly people survive the month. They help unemployed people keep going. They help communities feel less alone. One meal maybe might not even do a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it can change and impact someone's day. And sometimes that's enough to keep someone moving forward. And guys, at Making a Change, we've seen this over and over again. Soup kitchens aren't run by perfect people. They are run by ordinary people who saw a problem in their communities and they decided just to not ignore it. It's people with jobs, it's people with families, it's people that have a lot on their plate, people with limited resources, people that don't have a lot of money in the bank account waiting for them to just use it. But the most important thing is the people who we've dealt with, the people who run these feeding schemes, are people who simply just show up. So guys, if you are watching this and thinking, I want to help, but I don't know where to start. Guys, just start small, start local, start honestly, and just start by caring, okay? Feed who you can with what you have as often as you are able to. You don't need permission, you don't need to be an expert in all of this. You just need to care enough in order to act. Care enough in order to just feed the next person because you know how important it might be in the grand scheme of things. Guys, South Africa has no shortage of people talking about problems. What we need are people willing to do something, even if it feels very small. Because to the person receiving the meal, it's not small at all. And guys, if this video helped you out, then please share it out, talk about it, give this video a like. And also, guys, if you are able, start something in your community. That is how a real change actually happens. And we are all about making a change over here. So go and check out the other content, and I guarantee you guys, you are going to want to start making a change around you.